your Nissan Sports Desk.
A week away from the season opener, the Cowboys signed safety Ibrahim Campbell and center Adam Redmond, who will back up Joe Looney. Campbell most recently played for the Browns and Texans. Redmond played for the Colts. Taking a look at the practice squad, the team brings back receiver Lance Lenoir, who had a great camp in preseason until a couple muff punts in game number 3, and former fourth-round pick Charles Tapper, part of the same class with Dak and Zeke. Injuries have dominated his career so far. Now he may just get his shot. Are you a person that starts to look at your future and say, wow, this broadcast thing has really taken off. Now, where do I see myself in 5 years? How do you base your life? Coming up in 10 minutes, you'll hear his answer. Tony Romo, a different side of him, and he gets ready to kick off his second season as the lead analyst for the NFL on CBS. And Clarence Hill from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram will join us live in studio. Is it a make-or-break year for Jason Garrett? We're talking all things Cowboys.
Because it's, you know, raining. I think we can deal with it. We got the holiday tomorrow, and we got Keith Russell on deck right now. He's talking Tony Romo, who's giving us his take on the old squad.
You know he likes those boys. You know he loves them. Recently, we went to New York to catch up with Romo. The NFL on CBS Media Day gave us a chance to see some major changes in the former Cowboys quarterback as he enters his second season as the lead analyst. Confidence even higher. His family now larger, but his sense of humor still the same.
When I left the football field in April, I was looking forward to this day right here. Jim, I got $5. This is a run to the left.
It's Henry. What did you see there?
I've seen football in the NFL for 14 years.
It went good, and I feel, humbled by a lot of the positive reinforcement people have, when you see them on the street, the way that people come up to you, I feel, just that it's been great. And I'm excited about year 2. I feel like I know a little bit more about what I'm supposed to do, and hopefully I won't have quite as many butterflies this time around.
What was it that allowed you to progress so quickly, you think?
I listened to myself the first time I did a practice game and I stunk. I mean, it was terrible. And I was like, oh, I don't even want to hear my own voice. It just sounds horrible. And then, you sound like the teacher in Ferris Bueller, and he's like, Bueller. And I was like, I'm never going to be any good at this. And so then you start tinkering and trial and error, and you start to figure out what you really think is important for, a good analyst or someone in that position. Like, what would you want to hear? What would you want someone to do? And then you start to go from there.
And then on the other end, even when he does get time, when he doesn't make a pass, then they're knocking down the wide receivers and tipping balls and intercepting balls. And
his enthusiasm, it's like John Madden. I mean, you could tell that when John Madden was doing a football game, he loved what he was doing. Well, Tony Romo, I'm not comparing him to John Madden yet, but he has that kind of youthful exuberance that you just can't teach anybody. And he has a likability that, that is, again, impossible to teach.
Do you have mixed emotions about getting set to do your first Super Bowl?
It's always going to be hard to know that I never brought a championship, to Dallas. And that's, something you have to live with. That's going to be hard and difficult. It's never going away. But it'll never be easier, regardless of what the next year's like. It's just, it happened, and I wasn't able to do it, and it stinks, and you got to live with it. But I also know the joy that game and how important that game will be to all those players and coaches and the organizations and all their families and the people associated around them.
The talk of the town everywhere we went was about Sam Darnold. And I got to tell you, after watching some of these plays, he does remind me a bit of a young Tony Romo. Look at his mobility.
What has been your general feedback regarding Jason Witten as he's gone into that world?
I remember feeling like I had 1,000 bits of advice on how to do things, and it was overwhelming a little bit early. And then you start to find yourself and you get going. And Jason's doing that right now. I heard him last week. He did great. So I think he's going to be outstanding at this. And I'm just excited that he gets to do something that he's passionate about.
What's your advice, whether it's been given personally or indirectly, to Des Bryant? And how much do you feel for him with what he's going through right now in terms of trying to figure out what his next move is?
I just think, I think at some point he'll pick a team. I just don't think he has yet. I think he could have multiple times. When he's ready to go, he'll go. And until he's ready, no one's going to talk him into it. No one's going to it's a little more fly by the seat of your pants from week to week and day to day. So it'll happen, but it just won't be when anyone else thinks it is. It'll just randomly one day happen, and you'll be like, oh, and there Dez is on the team.
Blitz is coming. He throws a deep ball to the left side, and the ball is Bryant.
Now that they've come back years later and said that could have been, or should have been, a catch, do you ever stop and think, well, if it should have been a catch, what if it was a catch? What if that in that moment it was a catch? Yeah. Do you do the what if game, Tony? I'm never really someone who looks back. Even like the football side of it, it's like I move on to the next thing and you get ready to, boom, go toward this and be great at this, and you kind of go. It's like those things all happen. You know, sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. But if I'm sitting here on TV and I'm telling you about how, you know, I got screwed for some, it's like you got to be kidding. You know, I have been very blessed. I'm very lucky. In no way, shape, or form has the good Lord been like, oh, Tony Romo got a raw deal. You know, he should have. It's like, come on. I've got kids who are healthy, a wife who loves me most of the time, and I feel like I got lucky. You know, I don't feel like something was taken from me. How much, when you look at this photo, do you realize how life changes? Yeah. Technically, right now, all four are out of the league. I mean, Dez could be broadcasting somewhere we don't know about. I mean, that's. I think, yeah, it goes fast, and that's why you want to wake up every day and try and do the best you can. And you know, we're going to fail all the time in life at many different things, facets, and you know, but you know, you get lucky sometimes to have some great people around you and try and do some great things, and you make lifelong friendships like that. I mean, it's meaningful, but time flies. You missed the game from the playing side? Tell the wife, I'm like, this is as happy as I've ever been, you know, and it's great, and it's also, you miss playing, but you love that, you know, you're on to your next phase and you feel good, and I got these 3 young boys that are, you know, kind of really fun right now, and they love when Dad comes home. It's just it's a really good time in my life right now. What's it like to have another addition? It's great. He's walking. You know, John's turned 1, and you know, he's a ball of energy right now. So the other ones get over there and they try and play with him, and I'm always like, you don't want to pick him up and throw him down. We just want to kind of play with him on the ground a little bit. Hawk's always being like, look at Dad, I'm picking the baby up over my head. I'm like, let's put the baby down. It's a little high, son, but he loves him. Romo says the Cowboys will be tough to beat if they grind it out and play Stingy D, a man who knows Romo really well. This man right here, Clarence Hill from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. A week away from the start of the NFL season for the Cowboys, we tackle everything you want to know about the team in just a few.
54 for the lead with 14 seconds. The kick's away. Bailey. Yes! I wish I did anything as well as Dan Bailey kicks.
You know, that's when he was regarded as maybe the best kicker in all of the NFL. Back here with Clarence Hill from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. The second most accurate kicker in NFL history, Dan Bailey, a Cowboy no more. You shocked?
Yeah, I think most outside observers are shocked. And, you know, you go back to that kick, and I would tell you during the time in 2013, 2014, 2015, people thought Dan Bailey was the best at what he did on the Cowboys. Best at what he did. That includes Tony Romo as a quarterback, Dez Bryant as a receiver, in those offensive linemen. The best player at what he did, his job on the Cowboys, was Dan Bailey. That's how much confidence we had in Dan Spit'em Bailey, Dan Perfect Bailey, all those nicknames that came out about Dan Bailey. And certainly he had a rough end of the season last year. He was hurt. He missed 5 field goals in the last 5 games, but no one saw this coming, except maybe Jason Garrett and the Cowboys. Looked like, you know, this was something they had considered and thought about. Dan Bailey's percentages have gone down each year. You know, his accuracy. Mm-hmm. You know, he was the most accurate kicker in NFL history. He's not number 1, he's number 2.
Number 2.
But his numbers have gone down the last 3 years. He's coming off injuries, getting older. As sneakily, they brought in Brett Maher into training camp and basically used this time in camp to find a reason to get rid of Dan Bailey. Certainly some of it was money. Some of it was, you know, them thinking that maybe they need to go in a new direction. You know, it's funny. There was a time we used to talk about the Cowboys about holding on to players too long. Mm-hmm. Now we're mad at them for getting rid of a player a year too early.
So Bailey's supposed to work out for the Jets on Monday. Jason Garrett, you talked about you think this was his move. He's made several moves now that tie him in to the success or failure of this Cowboys team. It's a make it or break it year, I would imagine.
It's been that. You're talking about a Cowboys team that's in transition. A Cowboys team that's without Jason Witten, without Dez Bryant. Again, a decision that's partly on Jason. They moved on from them. Now you're moving on from this kicker. Again, I don't think there's anybody on this team, just from my understanding of covering this Cowboys team since how long has it been now? Since
How long has it been,
1997, and certainly covering throughout Jason's career as a player and as a coach. There's nobody on this team that he doesn't want on this team. And if the kicker's not on his team, that was a Jason Garrett decision. So as much as this team plays for field goals, they play for a lot of field goals, do you trust a guy who's never kicked in this league one field goal to go into Carolina and make a game-winning field goal? If that's your, if that's what's going to go down, if that's what's going to go down at the end of the game, that's a question that's going to be on Jason's head. If they don't win this year and these field goals don't go the way they're supposed to go, and the kicker is not who he thinks he is, it could cost Jason his job.
Brett Maher on center stage. Jalen Smith on the defensive side on center stage. Is his comeback complete, or what will it take for his comeback to be complete?
I guess the Pro Bowl, Hall of Fame, all of that, but he has been one of the pleasant surprises of the training camp. And the dirty little secret here is Jalen has played so well and done so well that no one said anything about the first-round draft pick that possibly will be inactive on opening day. Here's a guy you draft Leighton Vander Esch because of the questions at linebacker, certainly the questions with Jalen Smith. You draft him in the first round to be an immediate starter, opening day starter, have an immediate impact. He's missed most of training camp. He has a hamstring injury. He's possibly not. He missed a lot of mini camp. He's certainly not guaranteed to be ready for the opening day, and no one's talking about it because Jalen Smith has played that well. He looked that good that even if Vander Esch was healthy, he wasn't taking a starting job away from Jalen Smith.
Hope to see that swipe several times this season. What about Randy Gregory? How special can he be?
You know, it's not just about Randy. Randy's return is remarkable because he hadn't played football in over a year. And even when he played, the last time he played, I don't think he's played as well then as he's playing now. He didn't have the type of impact in the preseason training camp, even as a rookie, as he has now. He's older, he's mature, he's gained some more weight in his body. He's still quick as a whistle and certainly can get to the quarterback. You know, he opened my eyes one day in training camp when he beat Tyron Smith for sacks on back-to-back plays. But you put him there and he's able to come and play on the opposite of DeMarcus Lawrence. We know all the teams are going to try to line up and try to stop DeMarcus Lawrence. Well, you double DeMarcus, you got Randy Gregory coming from the right side. This line, and certainly when you get a guy like David Irving coming back, has a chance to be special.
And you got Taco coming off that bench. Dak Prescott, is this his team? Is it his team, Clarence?
Well, no doubt this is Dak's team, and there's no Jason. There's no Dez. You know, Zeke is the star running back and certainly the best player on the team, but he's, you know, he's a soft-spoken sort. You know, Dak is the face of the team. He's on the cover of the media guide. He is the leader of this team. And the thing about, I'm impressed with Dak so much throughout training camp, not just his play on the field, but how he's handled things off the field. He's taken a lot of grief, right or wrong. He's taken a lot of grief over the anthem stuff and certainly the mural. That could have got to him. It bothered him, but it could have got to him. He did not let that affect his play on the field in practice, in games, and how it affected him dealing with the team. So that's impressive how he's able to channel that and focus and not be distracted by those things.
Couple one-sentence answers. Zeke Elliott, one sentence. We're running out of time. Clarence, one sentence.
Okay.
Zeke Elliott, MVP?
He has a chance. He's certainly going to be in the running. He's going to get a chance to run, catch, do everything for this Cowboys team. Put him down.
Cowboys record. Come on now, Clarence.
I got him at 9-7. I got him at 9-7. I don't know what's going on with that offensive line. I don't know when Travis Frederick's going to come back, although they didn't put him on IR, so it's hope that he's going to come back sooner than later. But until we find out about Travis Frederick and some of those guys on defense, 9-7.
Good enough for the playoffs? Yes or no?
Not 9-7, no. If they don't make the playoffs, Jason's gone.
Super Bowl for the 20th time, right here on CBS.
Okay.
In Atlanta.
Okay. So
your matchup.
You're not saying the Cowboys then, right?
No, I said 9-7 just like you.
Okay.
Your matchup.
Whew. Atlanta.
And their home stadium?
And yeah, let's go put Atlanta in their home stadium.
Okay.
Let's go with Atlanta.
Okay.
And I hate to say it, not New England. San Diego.
San Diego and Atlanta.
San Diego Superchargers.
I like those defensive ends in San Diego. Clarence Hill saying Atlanta and San Diego. Wow. Maybe I have to change my predictions. Clarence Hill, all things Cowboys from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Ready for the start of the season. Meantime, a top 25 matchup in college football tonight. One team wasn't ready. More on that in a few.